Hello everyone, my name's Razeth, and today I have the American DJ Entourage. Now this is an $849 Phaser professional tour grade haze machine. Now the only reason it's called a Phaser is because it uses water-based fog fluid instead of oil-based. I think calling it a phaser is absolutely stupid, but that's what it is. Today I have the Antari Phase Effects Fluid Long Hang Time 4-liter FLZ-4 fluid in this machine. So, a couple things first. This machine here is a 15,000 CFM output hazer. Now, I know you can't really measure output like that, but that's what they have on the advertisement. This one I have here, that I previously owned, was 800. Yeah, that's quite a bit more. This is really nice because it has a lot of features that make it super useful for touring and big professional venues that you might want to bring something like this to. The first being that this is built into a flight case. Like, this flight case literally is the hazer. So there's no additional, box that you need to buy for this. This is the hazer. So you can see here, here's the handle, and then this front lid comes off. What's nice is you can also transport it exactly like this, even with fluid in the machine, which you'll see. So I'm going to take the front off, and now you can either store it like this, laying down, or you can stand it up like I had there, and it won't spill or leak anywhere inside the machine. It's very nice. So I'll pull the lid off here. And there you can see on the inside of that all of our, plugs and things and cables and screens and connections and stuff. Now, we'll just go left to right here. Obviously here we have our fluid tank. I have it full of the Antari Phase Effects Fluid Liquid. And what you can do actually is, this is a quick release. So this is the hose that connects into the machine. This just pops right out just by pushing a little metal tab. And additionally, this is Velcroed in, so it's got a little strap to keep it in there. You can just pull it right out like that, and there it is. There's our tank, and you can take the cap off and fill it pretty easily using a funnel or your whatever your preferred method is. But I prefer a funnel, and fill it up. And then what you can also do is you can buy multiple of these, so you can have one on standby while the one is in there going, and you can just swap them out as needed without having any, crazy amount of downtime. All you do, you take the one out, you put the new one in, just like this. Well, you want to make sure your Velcro is out. You put the new one in, and Velcro it in. You take this, and you just click it right in. Just like that. Excuse me. And now that's in there and ready to go. Then in the middle, we'll just go down here first. You have DMX control. You have 5-pin and 3-pin. It comes with little dust caps on your inputs here that you can see. I tried putting them on the other side, but they're perfectly made for your input. So we'll use that. Show you how that works. Then you've got PowerCon in. There is no out, unfortunately, but oh well. And then you have a fuse right there that you can use to reset. And I'll zoom in here just so you can see a little bit better what that looks like. There you are. Then on the screen, so you have your screen that shows all of your settings and output. You have a couple buttons here, your function, your timer, your hold, your manual, and then your up and down to adjust your values. And then on the left-hand side here, this is where the haze obviously comes out from. This is your scoop. It adjusts from completely flat to pointing up like that. There isn't any more flexibility. You can't flip it upside down or anything. But I mean, this is pretty nice to have. There's also a little sponge in here, right below the scoop, that you may want to replace at some point, depending on how much you use this machine. Yeah. Additionally, on the right side here, I'll show you, there is a vent that's got a sponge behind it that you can see. That's where the intake is for the fan. You can buy replacements for these if you want. You just have to contact ADJ for that. But yeah, And then what's really nice is in the lid here, you can see, I'll zoom out just a little bit, you can see the cable. It actually comes with the cable and the strap that you can use, and it just adheres right to the lid, and you can store it right there alongside the machine. This is a 1500 watt unit. Again, it does 15,000 CFM of output. Its max output of liquid consumption is 9 milliliters a minute, and this is a 5.6 liter tank. So if you fill that thing all the way up to 5.6 liters, you can actually get about, I think it was just over 10 hours of runtime on a full tank at full blast. So that's pretty nice to see. Obviously, you're going to pay over $75 worth of fluid if you're going to be running it for 10 hours a day for 3 days straight, but I mean, come on, who's going to do that? So I'm going to turn our power con and lock it in, and what I'll do is I'll plug it in and turn it on. So let me do that. Plug it in, and now it's on. Version 1.9, obviously here, now it's warming up. Now this boasts a 45-second warm-up time. I've measured it a little bit longer than that. It's more like a minute, but I mean, at that point you're just splitting ends. It's very fast, and you can hear it making some noise. Now this isn't a quiet hazer. If you're using this for a small event where you need vocals and everything, this probably isn't exactly what you want, because it sounds like this pretty much all the time. And it gets even louder when the fan kicks on. So that's something you're going to want to keep in mind when using this. Now, I'm going to plug in my DMX controller here and get it prepared to be used. And I'll go through the couple modes that this has as well. Now this is still warming up and everything, and getting ready to haze. Gets a little bit louder there as the nozzle warms up. Now there's also a couple other cool features about this. Is it has a cleaning mode that it does anytime you're done hazing. And that prevents any buildup. As you can see right there, it just finished, so I can go in and manual haze, and you already get some output. It was that fast. Now this has this cleaning mode that you can see here, and it's just finished. If you haze longer, it takes a little bit longer to clean, but what's super nice about that is that prevents your nozzle from getting clogged, that prevents any buildup from going in there and having to worry about leaving the fluid in the haze, or in the machine. As long as you get high quality premium fluid, you're not going to have this issue. And now I'm serious. When talking about getting haze fluid, it's not just a gimmick. It's not just, oh, you can use whatever, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it is serious. When they built this machine and calibrated the whole cleaning system, they used the fluid that they purchased and made. Now, American ADJ, they used Antares fluid to calibrate it. They made special fluid, but they actually called it something different. So I spoke with one of their sales reps. This is the exact stuff that they used. It's a one-to-one. ADJ just sold it under their own name and called it something else. So if you want to use the best possible fluid for this that they calibrated the machine on, this is what you're going to want to go with. So that's that. And I mean, any other high-quality haze is going to be good. Obviously, you can get stuff from Froggy's Fog, which I also highly recommend. But any, high-quality, good and tried and tested fluid will work for your use case. So, as you can see here, I've got it in DMX mode. If we push the little button here, the manual button, it'll immediately go into full fan and full volume, which is just how much output the machine has. So we'll hold it just for 1, 2, 3, and you'll see it already starts pumping haze out just like that. It's very, very fast, and comes on almost instantly. So there's also a couple other features that this machine has. It's got a timer mode, so you can set it how long you want it to haze for, and then how much delay you want it to wait to haze again. It obviously has the manual mode. It has just a go all the time mode where you set your volume and your fan speed, and then you can do it via DMX, which I have a controller right off to the side here that you can see that I'll be using to control this. Now what I'm going to do, and a lot of people, you know, request this when they ask about purchasing hazers, is they want to know, will it set off their smoke alarm? And well, the answer is yes, to be honest. If you get a really thin haze, high quality thin haze going, you'll probably be fine. But I've got one here. I'm going to put it right over here, so watch your ears. Oh, it's beeping. I think this is actually telling me my battery's low. Oh, it's blinking red, which means it detects something. Yeah. So that set that off. So it will set off your haze, your fire alarms if they are light-based. Obviously, this won't set off any thermal ones, but keep in mind this can easily set off your smoke detectors. Obviously, this is worst-case scenario. I'm putting it right in the output, but you get your room full enough with enough haze, it's going to set them off. So that's why I have mine with the battery out when I make these videos. So let me turn on my. Actually, let me show you the functions on this first and kind of how they work. So we'll get a little closer up here. So you can go to function, and it shows you your different options. So you have hold, which is just hold. This means it's not going to do anything. This puts it also into DMX mode. We can push it again. This is our volume, and I'm going to set this all the way down. So this is the constant mode. So this is going to run at volume 5, and the fan's at 100, so that's very, very loud, of course. And we can set that lower and stuff, too. So what I'll do, just for the demonstration purposes, I'm going to put this in DMX mode, and then we'll be able to control the output a little bit more, and I can show you what's going on as I move the faders. It'll actually show you on the screen as well. So let me let that switch over. Here it's doing that cleaning thing. Now the way it does that, the way I've been told at least, is the nozzle gets so hot that it actually burns off anything that's on there. So it prevents any, buildup from forming on that. So what I'm gonna do is, obviously you can set your address. I think I actually have to turn on the controller before we can change what channel it's on. So let me turn on my DMX controller. There you go. So now it has DMX signal, and it's in 2-channel mode. I don't know what the A1 means. I'll have to read the manual to confirm that. I think that's for chaining things. But then here, so you can see the volume 0 and the F5, which is our fan speed. And I have both faders all the way at 0 on my controller. Now, this also has a 1-channel mode, which will control, I think, both fan speed and output, the volume. But you can also put it in a 4-channel mode, which will get you access not only to fan speed, volume, but it gives you access to the delay, so you can have a interval and a output time set up. So if you want to just run it in bursts, you can actually control that just via DMX. So what you can see here is if I move my fader up, let me select the fixture here. If I move my fader up, you'll see the fan starts going. So I have this on 30. Now when you're hazing at full output, at 100%, the fan will automatically go up to 30. And I'll do that really quick here just to show you that happen. I'm going to set the volume to 100. And you can see the fan starts going up. I'm not moving the fan. And I'll set it back down to 0 here. And you'll see it goes back down. So it automatically adjusts that fan speed just for making sure that it can actually pump that haze out. But you can individually control the fan, so I can set this up to 100 and you can hear how loud it's going to be. So you can hear how loud this is. Now again, this isn't for a quiet venue. If you're in a church, this probably isn't something exactly you're going to want, just because of how loud it is. And I mean, even idle. Thought that was a fire alarm. I think that's just somebody backing up outside. Yep. I haven't set any off yet, so that was a little concerning. But yeah, so even if you have this in a quiet venue and in a church, you can set it to pretty quiet. So I'll see here, how low can we put the volume before the fan speed starts going up? Oh wow, so you can put it all the way up to 50, it looks like. before the fan speed starts kicking on. So that's pretty useful. And it'll stay this quiet, just outputting that much haze. But here, we'll kick some of this out. There we go. So now obviously if you have a high output hazer like this, you're gonna want a high fan speed. Most people actually put a small fan in front of their machine to help disperse the haze even better. Now in this case, it has such a fast fan that you might not need that, but it's, you know, it doesn't hurt anything. Something I do like about this, and this fluid and this hazer, this output is very dry when any liquid comes out. It doesn't, you know, I could hold my hand here, it doesn't feel like, you know, my hand's getting wet or any, you know, sticky at all. It does feel super, super dry, so you don't have to worry about, you know, getting anything immediately in front of it wet or having any residue, especially, you know, compared to things like oil hazers that actually really cause that problem. So that's that. What I'll do here is I'll put it in, I think I have to go to function. There we go. So here's 4-channel mode now, and I can control the delay and the interval, which it calls. So I think it's delay. So I think this number is how often it's going to put out haze, and then this number is how long to wait in between. So if I move my fader up on that, you can see it going up and up and up. So it goes all the way up to 250 seconds. So these numbers are seconds. And I can also set my D number super high as well. 250, just like that. So you could have on-off cycles that help fill your room a little bit better. And it looks like when you set these, you know, it goes all the way down to 3 and 0. So I'll set this to, let's do, you know, 99, super high. And if we set our volume, you can see the volume at the top. It starts actually counting down how long, you know, so we have our fan speed, our volume, the delay, and the interval. I'll set the interval way lower so that we can actually wait. Oh, so while it counts down, actually, you can see here, I changed the fader, but it's still counting down at the same, you know, time we had set it to. So that's something interesting to keep in mind. And I can adjust, I think, our delay here. Nope, it doesn't let me adjust it at all. Aha! So you have to set your volume to 0 before you can adjust your delay and interval. So I'm going to set our delay here to, let's set it to 5, because this really does pump. Oh, we'll set it to 6. This really does pump out haze. And we'll set our volume up to 50. There we go. So there, it does obviously the few seconds of haze. And now there is a little bit delay, of course, because that's how that works, but you'll see it do its thing every couple of seconds. So it's counting down 15 more seconds. Now, obviously, if you have a lighting console, like an MA or a CAMSYS or anything equivalent, this will be a lot easier to control because you can set executes for this. Sorry, I was sneezing. But there, so you can see it ran for the 6 seconds and outputted its haze. So yeah, this is really nice to program. And, you know, setting it, this is as much haze as we can output while it stays this volume, of course. And I could set it to higher delays or longer intervals or whatever I want, even shorter if I wanted to. And it makes it super, super nice. And then obviously as well, you can set your fan speed, but your fan speed will stay constant. So that's pretty much it for this hazer. Something interesting you can keep in mind as well, if we put this in 2-channel mode and it's hazing and then it loses DMX signal, it'll immediately go into that cleaning mode. So I'll set it to haze, and then I'll turn off my controller. There you can see, it goes right into cleaning mode. So if you have it hazing while you're, at the end of the night, it loses DMX signal, it's gonna go right into that cleaning mode, and then you can come in here and just unplug all of your equipment, and this will have already handled its cleaning. There's nothing you need to do. All you can do, come in, take this out, and you're ready to go. There's nothing else you have to do. It's pretty nice, it's very handy, and I mean, after all of that, little bit of haze that you can see, I mean, it's pretty hazy in here. Now, one final thing I'll show you. I'm gonna set my camera up on the other side of the room, set this at full blast, and you can see just how much haze this outputs. Alright, so I've got this now on the other side of the room, and I'm gonna go ahead and crank it to full just for a few seconds to show you exactly how much this outputs. So, here we go. And actually, you know what? I'll do even better. I'll hold down the manual button to show you, because that cranks it to full speed, full fan speed, full haze output. So we'll do that. So that's that. As you can see, very high output. I know it might be a little hard to tell on video, but that is a lot of haze. And what I'll do even here is I'll go ahead and set it to 50. So 50 of the volume, so the fan speed's on 5, the slowest fan speed. And you can really see how quickly this will fill up the room. I mean, that's a lot of haze. And what I'll do even to make it easier to see, I'll point it down. That's a lot of haze. And that's pretty quiet for that much haze. Now I would get a light in here to show you what the light looks like, but unfortunately it's very bright in this room, so I'd have to come back later. But I mean, I feel like this speaks for itself. This room is already very adequately hazed for what I could expect, and I mean, this ran for just a couple minutes, just showing you in the video how much haze this outputs. I'm sure it's a little foggy to even see me, but I'll take the camera here and walk outside of this room, and you'll be able to kind of look in and see how much haze is in this room. But I mean, it's very, you know, well, hazy. So you can see kind of the fog haze lingering in that room as it moves around a little bit. But this is plenty enough. Hello. This is plenty enough to fill up your room in any, you know, quick amount of time. So just, you know, taking a room this small for granted, I mean, this is a small back room of a bar. This will fill this up in literally seconds. You run it for 2 minutes, and I'm sure it'll be plenty enough. And then your HVAC runs. This will easily fight that. So, again, this is the ADJ Entourage, the road case flight ready hazer, phaser, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video.